3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hello guys, and welcome back to the Sports Shift with me, Ian Marquez. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be looking into Premier League. We're going to be reviewing all the matches from the past week. Let's get started. So recapping last week's game, Brentford, once again, fully entertaining. I love watching Brentford play, man. It's never a dull day. Whether they win or not, it's always entertaining. Coming from behind to win 3-2 against Bournemouth. Yoane Wissa once more doing his thing. 2 goals, and he is just back with a bang. Him and Mbeumo. Who is Ivan Toney? No one's missing him. Crystal Palace at home, 2-0 defeat to Fulham. Emile Smith-Rowe just looks completely revitalized in this Fulham setup, along with Raul Jimenez, and the industry was provided by Alex Iwobi, Adama Traore, Reece Nelson. Fulham just always seem to have something about them, always putting in a shift, and started really well to the season. What about Harry Wilson off the bench once again? He just seems to be finding a way, Premier League known for super subs. West Ham with a 0-0 against Everton. Anything but boring. Loads of shots, loads of saves. It was a game of the goalkeepers. Once more, Jordan Pickford doing his thing. Fabianski holding it down in the West Ham goal. And both teams with a rare clean sheet. But I'm sure they would have wanted the 3 points. Both teams struggling a little bit. Everton been pretty solid defensively, but just unable to find the goal. Where's the Calvert-Lewin of old that used to be way more lethal, man? I know he's had a lot of injuries, but it's just not the same. Wolves with a big 2-0 victory over Southampton. A very big victory for them, fighting in the bottom of the table. Matheus Cunha with an insane performance. Goal and an assist, and what a goal it was. On a rare clean sheet for Wolves. Brighton, 2-1 winners at home to Manchester City. City's second league defeat in a row and 4th on the chart in all competitions. Never done before in Pep Guardiola's career. What's happening to Man City? Is it just the lack of Rodri? Just something doesn't feel right, It's not the same. Meanwhile, Liverpool stretching the gap at the top with a dominant display against Aston Villa. 2-0 win. Mo Salah lethal as always. 2 counter-attacking goals from 2 Aston Villa corners. If I was them, I would just send it back to the keeper and just give away corners again. Meanwhile, Manchester United, 3-0 win against Leicester City. Ruud van Nistelrooy's last game in charge as interim manager. What a spell it was. Undefeated, all you can ask for. Was very grateful for him. I'm going to miss him when he's gone. But it's the time of Amorim, and we shall see how that goes after the international break. Bruno Fernandes just loves playing Leicester. A goal, an assist. I guess you could say 2 assists, because he played it onto the man who played the own goal. But just another dominating performance against Leicester. Man United, they had 1 chance that they gave away. A certain right back didn't track his runner. No names will be called. But still a fairly dominant display, which is quite rare for Man United. So very happy with it. Garnacho off the bench to score another wonder goal. He's having such a good start to the season, knocking in goals, and I'm happy for him, man. Long may it continue. I'm mad finally getting the faith as well under Ruud and repaying it, making it worth as well. I hope Amorim finds space for both of them. As we continue on Sunday's games, Nottingham Forest, their good start to the season hit a little bit of a road bump as they butt up against a Newcastle side that has seemed to pick itself up amid that early season skid and has started banging in some performances. Isaac back from injury doing his thing, and a very solid midfield of Joelinton, Longstaff, Willock, Bruno G, and Newcastle seem to be back to their old ways, just not always the prettiest, but grinding out results. Another performance that was pretty shocking was Tottenham Hotspur. 2-1 defeat at home to newly promoted Ipswich with their first win in over 20 years in the Premier League. Of course it came at the hands of Spurs. Ipswich have been scoring goals this season, however, they've been letting leads slip. And after Bentancur scored in the second half, a lot of people thought that it was going to happen again. But Ipswich held on, dug in deep. Omari Hutchinson with a very, very stellar second half performance, fighting for loose balls, holding it up. Smodic with a decent overhead kick, and just a very solid team performance. On the other hand, Spurs just looked like they didn't have anything. It's very hard to watch Ange Postecoglou because he looks like he demands that fight, that hunger, and it's just, I'm sure that he hates half his team because they just don't have it so often. It's a mentality thing. I actually saw something recently about Hugo Lloris saying that Daniel Levy, the chairman of Spurs, a couple of days before their UCL final against Liverpool, bought them courtesy of a sponsor all engraved watches that said Champions League finalist before they played the final. Like, there's just something inherently wrong in the mentality at Spurs, and it's not just the players, it's systemic. It's the whole setup at Spurs. There's just something wrong there, man. I don't know, but I'm not a Spurs fan, so it doesn't bother me. Ipswich, 1 win on the board, first win in 22 years in the Premier League, and as my father is a boyhood Ipswich fan, I'm happy, man. It's good to see them back to winning ways. They score goals, they do play some entertaining football. They are a bit naive at times, but it seems to be that they're learning. And then to round off this weekend's fixtures, Chelsea against Arsenal, another draw, another 1-1. I mean, why does this game even play anymore? It feels like every time it's a draw, a 1-1 is so common. Both teams had chances. No more than Leandro Trossard at the end took it off of Havertz's foot and put the ball wide. Who knows what would have happened if it went to Havertz. Pedro Neto in scintillating form. He had an insane cross. I don't know how Gusto didn't score it before he was able to get his equalizer. You give Pedro Neto space and he will create, he will perform. I know Cole Palmer tends to go a bit quiet in these big games. They just don't seem to be for him. I know he scored a penalty against Arsenal in the past, but never seems to be doing it in open play. Meanwhile, Arsenal, 9 points off of the top now. I'm not sure if they're the same Arsenal as last season. You know, ever since we're gonna win the league, top of the league for 300 days and don't win it, like, it's hard, man. It's hard to come back for it. I mean, I know as a fan, but imagine as a player. I know you're not supposed to think it, but they definitely thought they were going to win the league around Christmas last year. And they had a huge gap. What was it, 9-11 points? I just threw it away, man. That's another thing, like their mentality. I know they have Odegaard back now, which is a big help. He got an assist for Martinelli's goal, but they're just not looking like the same Arsenal of previous, you know? They are pretty injury riddled and have players coming back, but it's not the same. Alright, so now that's done. What was the bigger upset? You guys let me know. Man City, leading at first half, had not lost for I think it was like 3 years. The last team to do it? Guess who? Brighton. Once again. João Pedro back from injury, off the bench. First with the equaliser, then with the assist to Matt O'Reilly. Huge run for Brighton. Playing some aggressive football, pressing the bigger teams. Willing to play against the press, and it's so enjoyable and rejuvenating to watch. Always enjoy watching Brighton play, man. On the other hand, Tottenham Hotspur, 2-1 defeat at home to Ipswich. Smodic with a nice overhead kick, and the lap making it 2-0. Once again, Ipswich taking the lead, but this time they were able to hold on. Although I know that Bentancur late goal had Ipswich a little nervous, but players like Omari Hutchinson put in a stellar performance. And Spurs, they're just, I don't know. It's a mentality thing. I don't know. They never seem to like have that fight. They never seem to look like they were gonna score. Jadon Kulusevski, I find he has a lot of fight. He always like seems to come up with a goal or an assist, and he was fighting, but Spurs just don't have it, man. You guys let me know what you think was a bigger upset. I know City losing 4 in a row in all competitions and 2 in the league is pretty big, But Ipswich for the first league win in 22 years, I think, for me, is a bigger upset. You let me know. And what was the goal of the week? Smodic, overhead kick versus Spurs. Garnacho, insane finesse goal against Leicester. You know, that's his thing. He's done that so many times. Neto, with a huge rocket in the bottom corner against Arsenal. Or Cunha from outside the box. What a strike that was. All pretty important goals, given the situation. But for me, it's between Garnacho and Cunha. Because I've seen Garnacho doing it quite a few times before, I think I'd have to give this one to Cunha, because that was just a rocket. Like, they stood no chance. And he has it in him. Cunha's been like, he's in the goals. And Wolves are going to need him to stay healthy. I know he's been a bit injury prone in the past. They're going to need him to stay healthy, because when he's healthy, they stand a chance. Now, who was the player of the week? Mo Salah, dominated performance against Aston Villa. A goal, and I guess you can call it an assist, for Darwin Núñez, because he was the one that got fouled before Núñez ran onto it. João Pedro back from injury. So long away with injury. I know he's a bit injury prone, but finally back off the bench. Goal and an assist against Man City. Bruno with a goal and assist. And I guess another assist for the own goal. You know he loves to play against Leicester. He's looked in great form under Ruud, and I'm sure that will continue under Ruben Amorim. Or Matheus Cunha, driving run to get the assist to Sarabia for the first goal, and then to top it all off for that rocket from outside the box. Let me know who is your player of the week. I'm a bit biased, but off of the control that he provided, I think I'm going to say Bruno Fernandes. Although all the others, worthy shout. Team of the week. Although Ipswich put on a great performance, I'm going to have to say Brighton for dismantling City. Coming from behind after half-time. João Pedro off the bench. What a team performance it was. They like to play against the press. They like to press high. And it's so rejuvenating to watch Brighton play football. 39% against City is a relatively high amount. And they didn't just sit back and defend. But when they did, they were solid. You can change the coaches. You can go from Graham Potter to Roberto De Zerbi. But it seems like Brighton always find a way. And another thing to look out for, I think they found another gem. Carlos Baleba in that midfield. He looks really good against Man City. And I think, not next season, but the season after, he's going to go for 60, 80 million. I don't know how Brighton keep finding these players, but they find a way. And they're my team of the week. Alrighty guys, that's going to cover everything for this episode. See you guys for now.